Jonty, welcome to Flooring Africa's Online Flooring Expo. Yay!
Barry, thank you so much for inviting me.
Jonty, we are absolutely blessed to hear in the news about dolphins arriving in Venice and coyotes on Golden Gate Bridge. I know that sustainability in this world we're in is really important to you and the Flooring Connection, and we're seeing some amazing, interesting stories emerging out of chaos. Can you tell us a little bit around your angle on sustainability?
That's an easy one. The entire company has been set up with a view to working with products that can be either recycled or repurposed. So everything the Flooring Connection is involved with is aimed at fulfilling that purpose. If we can't recycle it or reuse it, we'd rather not be involved with it. And as much as we have chosen a niche, which is the acoustic and raised flooring niche to work in, the products that we support and distribute all fall within that realm.
Wow. That's pretty big. That's pretty big, and that's heartfelt as well. Like, we're going through crazy times at the moment, and we're all reassessing what we want to support and get behind. And that's something that's going to be even more important after we hopefully will get over this global pandemic.
We will get over this global pandemic. I know that the changes that we're all experiencing will become permanent changes and possibly, will evolve into a completely new social lifestyle for all of us. And for what it's worth, in terms of the month or so that we've been in lockdown, I can't say that it has been that bad. We have managed to get out quotes, to speak to everyone in the industry that we need to speak to. And if anything, it actually has created a space in which we can be more productive. So as much as I understand that we all have to be social, certainly in terms of our business, I don't see the new lifestyle impeding it in any form or fashion. Hopefully I'm correct.
Well, this is the new business meeting where we meet virtually. This is where it's all at.
Going forward, I have no intention, unless it's absolutely required, to do what I've been doing in the past, which is delivering samples and taking people through the product. Going forward now, when people request information on the product, I will be doing exactly what we are doing now, is I will be hosting meetings where I'm able to show them the products, build the relationship with them, and then have product samples delivered to them. And I cannot tell you in terms of my sales life how much time this will free up for me. So I'm actually very excited about us going into this phase. And if anything, it should enable me to broaden my reach very quickly, very cheaply, and very effectively. In short, what you're doing is the right thing, and I certainly am looking forward to us going forward.
Wonderful. And we'd like to hear much more about your product range. And I was thinking, Jonty, that there's probably going to be a big opportunity in home gyms for your floor substructures now that everyone wants to gym by themselves. Can you take us through your range and how it all works?
I can see you and I are following the news trends on this new wave. And I feel for the likes of the Virgin Actives and the Ignite gyms, they're going to experience it. There is going to be a big movement away from big social situations like that.
Can you talk us through your various systems from raw substructure through the actual whole offering?
We basically focus on the acoustic space in the flooring industry. So we have products that can be installed under screed. And that would be our underlays, our rubber acoustic underlays, which go all the way through from 17 decibel impact noise reduction through to 26 decibel impact noise reduction. And this enables folks who've thrown slabs to put down our underlays, throw screed on top of it, and carry on as you would normally. But in the process of doing that, they've created an acoustic rated floor. Then we would move on to our above screed products. And there we have our cradles, which fit into the acoustic realm, the sports realm, okay, and the raised realm in general. And these, again, would be installed on a slab. They have a very easy leveling system, so they can be installed on a slab, no need to throw screeds, and you would be able to create a subfloor onto which you can install any flooring surface that you require. These cradles obviously can be used outdoors as well, and there the two purposes that they're being used for outdoors would be obviously decking installation on top of waterproof slabs, as well as paving solutions. In fact, right now we're involved in a massive project in Pretoria, where a bank is using our cradle system for external pavers, where the system is designed so that should they wish to reticulate the water that will be caught in the building, okay, our system will enable this to happen. So we're very excited about that. And then we have our low profile on top of screed system, which is our 10.20 system. And this is actually a monolithic flooring system. So it enables us to go on top of whatever the existing floor is, put down a new substrate in the form of an HDF board or a magnesium oxide board. And we are using the magnesium oxide boards in areas where there's wet, say for instance, bathrooms and hotels. Okay, otherwise we tend to use the HDF boards. And we can work on top of screeds or surfaces that are not entirely flat. They obviously have to be level, but they don't need to be perfectly flat surfaces. The system we have enables us to cover that and put down absolutely flat, suitable for vinyl installations of floor substrate. See, they're very niche. They're not broad. We don't pretend to do anything else. That's what we do.
And you do it obviously well. I can imagine that there are these systems where maybe the substrate isn't integrous enough, it can't handle what the new floor requires with regards to levels or access to below, through to maybe it's a temporary floor system of where you can't bond, or I would think of maybe like long-term tenants, where they want to put a new floor system on top of an existing system, but they want to be able to rip it out with no impact on the substrate when they move on. Sounds like an absolutely fantastic, non-invasive kind of system.
That is where we're going. And right now, and it was interrupted by the lockdown, we are busy with a raised rubber cradle floor in Constitutional Hill in Johannesburg. And the whole brief for the renovation that's taking place is that nothing in the building, because it's a heritage site, can be altered. Our rubber cradles are absolutely fantastic for that, because onto our cradle substrate, they're building the temporary walls and everything else that's going on with the renovation. At the same time, with our 10.20 system, we have been called, and it's our first project in South Africa, we've been called to renovate the floors of a house on a game farm. And these are raised solid timber floors that have been down for 30 years. Now, the owners don't want to remove that solid timber floor, but they want to enhance the acoustic qualities.
Yeah.
So in that situation, we don't have a lot of height to play with. So what we've been able to do there is go over the solid timber floor with our 10 millimeter thick 10.20 system. And onto that, they're putting their carpets. So we have, with very little collateral damage involved in the process, recovered the existing floor and enable them to install whatever flooring surface they want. And in the process, have enhanced the acoustics substantially.
Jonty, coming back to the acoustics, as you've mentioned, is that really a big issue? What's the impact of acoustics in a residential or commercial space in reality?
It is a massive issue. And if we go worldwide, you will see in most of the first world countries, so Australia, Europe, USA, Canada, UK, they're not allowed to install flooring systems without them meeting minimum acoustic ratings. Now, that is law. It's prescribed. So whether you're working in a domestic or residential or commercial environment, whatever flooring system, whether it's new build or renovation, have to meet minimum acoustic requirements. In South Africa, we don't have that legislation yet. Working throughout Africa as we are doing, what we're discovering is that the architects that are involved on those sites, whether it's in Senegal, Uganda, Namibia, they are being governed by international laws and regulations, and they're all insisting on acoustic floors.
Oh, okay.
The game farm or the game house that we're working in now, if you could have heard the acoustic noise going through the timber floor to the rooms below before we put on our 10.20, okay, and now, okay, the noise still permeates, but it's completely different. The frequency has changed, and the effect of the thumping on the upstairs floor, okay, is immediately noticeable. Don't have to do an acoustic course. So yeah, that's where we're at.
So obviously, high density construction and living in dwellings, you know, it's accelerating at an exponential rate all across the world, and so much more so here in South Africa and Africa. Are your products available through you throughout Africa, or what territories do you represent?
For the InstaFloor range of products, which is our recycled rubber underlays and our recycled rubber cradles, we work throughout the SADC region, and at this point in time, we're doing large number of projects into Africa itself. In terms of our 10.20 product, which we're having manufactured in Cape Town, we're the distribution arm for the manufacturing company. There, we basically have the whole world at our fingertips. You know, as I said, we've launched that product a month ago. We got our first job on this game farm. We've had a whole lot of interest from some substantial players in the industry. And we really are hoping with that to introduce into the South African market a reasonably priced, very easy and quick to install subfloor, okay, that will make everyone's lives a lot easier in terms of preparing substrates. So in other words, if you throw a slab, if you power float a slab, you no longer need to do screeds now. As they're doing in Europe, you can just come in and on top of that slab, just put down a 10.20 system and then throw whatever floor on top of it you wish.
And costing wise versus like a topping or a screed?
Cost is always critical, specifically in the development arena. We are not that far out in terms of costs, but more important is that everything we're doing can be repurposed and can be reused. So if you look at the hotel environment, if they put a screed down with tiles on top of it, when they renovate, the wet works start again. Wet works are associated with a whole lot of collateral damage. Yeah. Our systems, that would not be the case. You literally would go in, you would pick your engineered flooring, your vinyl, your tiles, whatever it is up, remove the installay, okay, or whatever underlay you'd place that on, okay, and then remove the substrate in whatever form it is. So in terms of big commercial buildings, you have now changed the entire process of renovating your building. Very, very important factor going forward. And a lot of hotels are using things like magnetic flooring, which, Barry, I know I've spoken to you about it, but we have a system we're hoping to introduce into the country shortly. But in terms of magnetic flooring, we now have hotels and situations, and this is happening abroad, this is not new to South Africa, where they will lift floor 10 or floor on the 10th floor, and they'll move it to floor on the 6th floor. So it looks like the entire hotel has been renovated, but actually not. All they're doing, okay, is recycling what they've got already. And this again is going to change the dynamics of things like the hotel industry in terms of their costs for repurposing and renovating their existing buildings. Other factors which only sort of get talked about at the in the early stages of a development is obviously not only the cost, but it's the weight of a building. So if you were to take, and these are all general figures, but if you were to take your average 40, 50 millimeter screed weighing in at 80 kilograms a square meter, put that into a 20 high-rise building, the structure is now affected and has to be planned for right from the start. Well, our systems are coming in at below 20 kilograms a square meter. Okay, this changes the dynamics of the whole building. Yeah. And has got massive cost implications, not only in terms of time, but in terms of structure. So there's great reason for investigating the products that we sell. So
lighter, stronger, quick, and being able to have it recycled, that's a product that is our future. Yeah. That's a product that I want to support.
You know, again, getting back to my business partner, Sven's, and my whole concept of being involved in this business, okay, that's where we want to be. And we are doing our best to keep up with the international trends, which definitely are leaning towards every floor being able to be reused or repurposed. And we would like to lead the field in South Africa, in that particular realm.
Jonty, leadership is something that is sorely lacking in some parts of our world, that we're starting to see good leadership and terrible leadership. So in leading our industry, what are your words of wisdom for our flooring industry and for the many organizations that are grappling with the economic implications of where we are?
I think for all of us, okay, the only option we have, so it's not that difficult, is to be positive. We're all sitting here with no business. It's the way it is. We have an option. We can either be sad or we can be positive. And for me and for anyone else who's interested, I would truly encourage them to not only be positive, but to adopt these changes, to adapt to these changes, okay, and to make use of this incredible technology, okay, to be involved in the flooring industry. So for me, as hard as it may be at this particular point in time, financially speaking, it's actually a really, really positive situation. And I repeat, people are going to, unless it's absolutely necessary, are going to struggle to get me into a motor car to go and deliver samples and discuss my product with them. I will be doing exactly what we're doing now. And they'll most probably get the samples before I even have the conversation. Our courier companies are good. It's hard, but it's really, really positive. And I would encourage everyone to choose, which is what it is. It's a choice to follow that path.
Thank you so much for joining us and supporting us on the Online Flooring Expo. Obviously, this is new technology. It's a new system, new format. We wanted to connect the community. Thank you for stepping up and supporting us. We really value that. Thank you.
Both Belinda and Barry, as you know, I am wishing you very well in your endeavors, and keep doing it. It's going to work. It is the way forward. Thank you.